get it.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Hi. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, I just want to say, let's keep the Movember thing going. My goal is $2,500.
What are we at?
I zipped up over 1,000 last night because of everybody.
Goodness!
So thank you. That was enormous. Some of the messages were hilarious too. Like, just some people would just leave like 420.69.
What messages?
Because when you make a donation, you can message people. So, like, for instance,
You like leave a message on the page or something?
yeah. So
You can tell I haven't donated.
yeah. So Matthew said, "Steve's right. We're better than this." From Baltimore, a Rangers fan who loves SDPN.
Hell yeah.
And this is another one from Oliver. Cheers, Cheers from Montreal. Another one. Good luck on you reaching your goal. Another one. Shout out to you from Vegas. Go Knights. That's from Jameson.
Woo!
And you know what? I love the American donations because it's like, listen, dude, if you donate in Canadian dollars, right? It's like 60 cents on the dollar.
Oh, you're like 30% better of a person.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how it works.
No. They just make
These aren't funny enough.
you
there's
want
not
them
enough. There's not enough balls.
Balls!
Oh, they write balls.
I tried to donate yesterday from bed, but I just got you ever have that thing where you get a new credit card and it changes the 3 numbers on the back and I don't know it?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I haven't been able to donate yet. And I'm upset because I had a banger of a comment. It said, "Nice mustache. Where'd you get it? The toilet store?"
Oh.
And it didn't work.
Oh.
And in that moment, you were too lazy to get up and go get your.
That's
credit
correct,
card.
yes.
Yeah.
Steve
and you couldn't
also-
do like Apple Pay, or if you're paying from your phone, just kind of tap on the side.
No.
No, you didn't.
Steve also.
Because I want it to be a business expense.
I want.
There we go.
Steve still has not made his $100 donation that he
That's
led.
what we were just talking about.
And no, but
Maybe I'll be the one that
here's-
gets you over the
Here's
top.
one that did. I got an anonymous donation. We don't know who this mysterious person is, but you may be able to figure it out from the message they left. Oh. And the person said, "Good content, good dude." I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to figure that out. But that's what.
Is it your wife?
Was it you?
It was not my wife. It was not me either. I don't know.
I think we've exhausted the list of people who say good content, good dude.
Maybe your mom?
Devin messaged and
No.
Devin gave $100 and he said, "You're beautiful no matter what, my man."
Damn.
Thank you, Devin.
That's
Thank
good.
you, Devin.
It's good, but also implies there's reason to believe you're not beautiful.
Yeah. And how do you know
Without
that it wasn't
doubt.
Devon?
It's Devin, I-N.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you do know.
Could be Devin.
Like a Devon Ox.
Devine.
Yeah, Devine.
Devine.
Could be.
Yes.
Uh,
Do you remember Davina from Selling Sunset?
No.
She sucked.
We just unlocked something in Maddie.
the
I
worst.
got an audible,
worst.
oh my God, from Matt.
She might be the worst character in reality TV show history.
Easily.
Yeah, like, yeah, terrible.
Easily.
So anyway, I just want to say, please keep donating to our Movember page as it's the drive for 2,500.
Rub it on the microphone. Oh,
You
yeah.
kind of hear it.
No, rub it harder.
No, I can't rub it.
Get in there.
You kind of hear the static.
Well, there's an
Yeah, do you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
here. Do I take?
No, one more time. One more
Yeah,
time.
no. Take the mic sock off.
Oh, yeah, you can
Yeah,
hear
you
it.
got it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
It is.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's yeah,
Great content.
I looked at it yesterday on the show, and it was a little heavy on this side, so I had to trim it back a little, and now it's a little more balanced, right?
Heavy is the head that wears the mustache.
Yeah, heavy.
As
heavy
they always say.
or heavy is the head in my case. Just a
Yeah.
big head. You know?
You know what?
I saw it, by the way. The New York Jets fired their general manager today, and he's a bigger guy. And the first comment on the post was, his head's got to be 30 pounds. I was like, man, I can relate to that. Anyway, sorry.
With Isla, who unfortunately for her has half my genes. They said like she's like 50th percentile, like she's right middle of the pack for body, but they said her head is in the 80s.
Oh, nice. Well,
It's making life difficult for her
there you go.
because you just see her trying to sit up and
Now, I also want to
got this
mention
coconut.
Kingston Frontenac's tickets are on sale.
That's cute.
It is cute.
It's nice
Cute
to
as
have a
hell.
coconut
Every day
there.
I wake up, she's still a baby.
Sunday, December 8th, SDP, Kingston Frontenac's night. Sarnia Sting are going down. They're going down. So we're going to watch the game, but we are going to do the pregame skate if you want to participate in that.
Here, wait. More like Sarnia stink.
Oh, there There it is. There it is.
Unless they want to do an event with us.
Steve, Adam, Jesse, and the most important character, Barrack the Bear, with a photo up on the ice. And then, of course, if you just want to do the game and podcast bundle, either way, you're going to the Caesar Company. You're going to get a meal voucher. There is a list of food that you could pick from.
The Caesar
called a
Company
menu.
is different, right? Like, we haven't been there.
We have not been to the Caesar Company.
No.
Okay, someone asked me that, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's different.
We have not been.
But I will check with the adults, and the adults just confirmed. So, yes,
Yeah.
it is different.
And the menu options, I'm going to pull that up. You can get surf tacos. Okay.
Early front
You can
runners.
get, and I know what Steve's going to get, chicken fingies.
If surf tacos are there, I might get those.
And I love this one. Not your average smash. So smash burger, 2 3-ounce smashed cheeseburger patties, thick cut jalapeno maple smoked bacon,
Jalapeno.
lettuce, tomato, onion pickle, house-made Thousand Island sauce topped with onion rings and a side of fries. That is a yes all freaking day.
See,
Thousand Islands is just Big Mac sauce.
Yes.
Or Big Mac sauce is just
It's Thousand
Thousand
Islands,
Islands.
yeah.
So that's going to be delicious.
I feel like if I have that before our show, it'll just be you and Jesse talking, and I'll be asleep.
Have it after.
So, yeah. Oh,
Have it after the show, man. That's a burger you eat with a knife and fork, or at least I would.
yeah. Oh, but it's got jalapeno, though.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll keep me up.
No, I don't think the jalapeno because it's too heavy. So you
No,
just go
well, it's
chicken
heavy,
fingers?
but then you add the spice to it. That's 3 strong options.
Yeah, and
Wrong.
remember, it's the Caesar Company, so what do they specialize in? Caesars.
Oh, it's not salad?
No, it's Caesar drink.
Oh.
It's delicious. Anyway, you can buy the tickets right now in the Kingston Frontenac store, or you just click the link in the description of this video or audio, wherever you're watching or viewing. We have the video and audio there, along with my Mo space. So Frontenac's, that is just over 2 weeks away, which is pretty cool. Getting into the show. And just a reminder that we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week because we have a Steve going to Halifax this weekend.
Steve decided to big time us and fly out for a weekend to sign some books.
Hey,
Or are you guys not coming?
Yeah.
Are your publishers not paying for you to go? Oh, sorry.
yeah, maybe next time we try to sell 3 books at once and then like all 3.
Adam, what's your book going to be about?
Oh shit, I don't know. I would do the easy way out. I'd do like a children's book or something like that. So it's like only 20 pages.
I don't think that's so easy.
It's not easy. The animation is the hard part, right?
Yeah, and you're not doing it.
Oh yeah, no. No, I'd hire somebody for that. I'd partner with somebody.
So which part of the book are you doing?
I'm doing the part that the kids care the least about, which is the writing.
Okay.
You're asking me what I would do. That's what I would do.
You would write a kid's
Yes,
book. Okay. What would your kid's book be about?
I would be about hockey.
Okay.
It would be about I think.
Oh, good. They don't have any of those in
I'm not
Canada.
going to say because I have an idea for a children's hockey book that I would like to try one day, and I don't want to give it away because I feel like it's $1 million idea. It's probably like if I took it to HarperCollins, they'd be like, "Yeah, okay, cool, man. Well, sure, we'll call you back." But
You've written a forward.
but I am a
them.
published author, Jesse. So
Yes.
yeah. So that's I would do children's book. What would your book be on?
Is it weird that I have a favorite children's book?
No. What's your
Like
favorite
currently or
Yeah,
from
like
your childhood?
currently.
What is-
Yeah,
there's
no,
There's
that's a bit strange.
There's a book series called The Day the Crayons Went on Strike, and like it makes me cry when I think about it and I read it. It's about a box of crayons going on strike because they're mad at one of the other crayons, and then they all picket and they all have their little reasons for why they're picketing. The yellow one's like, I'm no longer want to be the sun. You keep drawing me as the sun, so I'm going on strike. And it's just a book, and then they all eventually come off a strike. But I love the book. It's amazing.
So basic. That's a book for Alan Walsh, Union Strong Man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think Alan wrote it.
Yeah.
But
Gary with his triple crayon cap.
I'm going to write a 3,000 word think piece about why that book is anti-union propaganda.
Yeah, probably.
I saw it in a bookstore when we were in Cape Cod over the summer. And it was amazing.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I did not
yeah.
know that book existed.
You should get it for your kids.
Maybe
I'll buy it for your children. There we go.
there was a Bernstein Bears car race book that I made my parents read over and over and over and over as a kid. That was my favorite one.
Big Berenstein Bears kid.
Yeah.
Leo's really big in the Canadian alphabet and the Toronto alphabet. There's these books that A is for AGO, B is for the Blue Jays.
It's weird that they didn't make one for Ajax.
They should do. You know what, Adam? Maybe that's my third book. Thanks. Great idea. Maybe I'll fly to Halifax for that too. You freaking piece of shit.
F is for far away.
N is for not close.
No, I'm kidding. It's much closer than what you used to do. That's true. And it's much easier to go visit Steve. So getting into the show, I just want to quickly mention that Auston Matthews is in Germany this morning.
Yeah.
So there is...
We're going to turn
Berube said yesterday that the condition hadn't gotten better, but it hadn't gotten worse. And Matthews has worked with this doctor. McDavid's worked with this doctor. So I'm assuming, according to CJ, that it's not like a crazy deal, but he's been accompanied by a team doctor. Because remember, the team gets the ultimate choice over your health. Mm-hmm. But what's the team really going to say? No, Auston, we don't want you to do that.
What is the injury?
I don't know. Still don't really know.
So remember last year when John Klingberg flew all the way to Sweden and it essentially ruined his career?
Well,
I'm guessing it's not that one.
This going over to Europe to talk to doctors is actually fairly more common than we know in pro sports. Like Christian McCaffrey is the most famous one that just happened. He had a weird knee injury over training camp, and then he didn't start the season. And during the time where he was trying to recover, he went over to, I think it was Germany as well, to go see a specialist there. And it happens fairly often in baseball. There's a doctor in America who's a Tommy John specialist, but for some of the more obscure baseball injuries, they go over to Europe as well. Like, it's a thing because there are doctors around the world, and these people are $1 million investments, hundreds of millions of dollars. These athletes, their bodies are worth. You can fly around the world to go visit the best doctor, the best specialist who's trained in these areas. So we shouldn't freak out because he went to go see a specific doctor.
No.
But I mean, it does raise my eyebrows that he's on another continent.
Well, Steve, what's the difference between that and Yarncrook going to New York? Like the idea that
hours and hours, thousands of kilometers.
Steve, the idea that all the best doctors are somehow available in North America is such a fallacy.
You don't think they are?
I said everything
Stand up and sing the anthem right now. Both of them.
I said everything I said.
Unpatriotic piece.
And then you said,
he might have to spend a few more hours on the plane.
So what about everything?
My concern, as always, is commuting.
Steve, what about everything I just said?
Nah. Jesse, listen, it's 2024. I don't need to listen to the evidence you put in front of me.
Yes. And I want to say this.
It doesn't need to change my opinion.
Steve, Jesse, as a man who's been to therapy before, you know that speaking sense to anxiety is impossible. You can't pull somebody out of an anxious spiral by giving them reasons. That's not how anxiety works. And Steve,
I still need to sue the makers of Inside Out.
Steve this morning is feeling anxious about Auston being in Germany. And what's interesting about that, okay, because even if you are feeling that, because I think there are some people that are like, I think it's interesting because the Leafs have been really great without him.
Yeah.
So why not go get the best specialized treatment? Why not? Hey, man, if he's not back, let's say they play this well and he's not back till January. Do we care?
Okay, let's not go throwing that out there, first of all.
And he's back fully healthy?
My reaction to this is completely different from my reaction to David Kampf, which is, they're not playing any games right now. It's okay. Just rest him, call up Mitt, and see how he does. Woo!
I mean, Kampf is a bit less of a player on the team.
Bullshit.
So, like he's not.
He could catch Auston.
They call him old 60-goal Kampf for a reason.
Matthews scored more than Kampf's number last year.
What did Christian McCaffrey get, Jesse, when he went to Germany? It was like some sort of...
a plane ticket.
Like, what did when he went over there was some sort of special treatment that was like not available here, right?
I don't know the specific treatment he got.
Stem cell or something?
I don't think he got stem cell replacement.
He didn't get the Christopher Reeve South Park treatment?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he got that.
No, what's that blood thing where you spin the blood really fast?
Blood transfusion?
Oh, no.
No. What? No, there's this treatment where they take your blood.
Yes, I know.
They spin it in like a super spinner thing, and then they put it back in you.
Platelet-rich plasma.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that. It helps heal injuries, they say.
No, I know people who have gotten it.
You can get that done here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that should have answered my question. I know people who have gotten it.
I think the thing is that the Leafs are going to have to deal with the fact that players get injured. And it is as it has been the last few games, going to have to be Auston out, other guys step up. And they've done a good job of that.
Did you see the report today that supposedly Craig Berube has spoken to one Mitchell Marner about playing center?
I didn't see that.
Yes, very, very interesting. And you know what?
What do you think, guys? Who's a better center? Nylander
Thank you
or
for
Marner?
listening to the show, Mr. Craig. I just appreciate it. He's catching up. He listened to our shows from, I think it was September. Mm-hmm. And he's finally all caught up.
Here are the lines, according to David Alter, from today, this morning.
Got it?
McMahon, Tavares, Marner.
Mm-hmm.
Nyes, Domi, Nylander.
Mm-hmm.
Robertson, Minton, Holmberg.
Nyes, Domi, Nylander?
Yep.
Oh, so Domi in the middle. Okay, sorry.
Robertson, Minton, Holmberg.
Robertson on the left for, I believe, the first time this season.
Dewar, Lorentz at center, Steves at right wing.
Lorentz at center is not something he has done. So you have two guys on Wednesday who are going to play center for the Leafs for the first time.
Mm-hmm. And Minton's done a great job.
Well, sorry, first time this season.
Minton did a great job in
played
the AHL when he was there for 4 or 5 games. So
yes,
they're excited about that. But this Vegas game feels like the perfect time to try stuff. This is the try stuff part of the year where you go, hey, let's try stuff. So in the playoffs, if something happens to, I don't know, our best player and he can't play until game 7, we have other stuff that we've tried.
Kyle Cushman, by the way, who's just so good at basically everything, but
Never heard of
especially Leaf prospects.
Don't know him.
Fraser Minton has won his 5-on-5 minutes 6-2 and has a Marlies high 4.25 shots per game. He's been really good coming back from injury, a deserving recall. Hey, good news.
Okay.
We love that. We love that. It's lovely. Hooray. And I like that they have like a kid line.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
It's fun.
I think whatever. Like at the end of the day, it's one game against Vegas in November. Not that Vegas isn't a good opponent, but wouldn't you say good opponents are a great thing to test out against?
I hope you remember what you're saying right now if they end up stinking the bed.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you're going to learn on Wednesday, good or bad. And I think if it is a loss, it might be one of those losses where you go, all right, well, we learned. To me,
And if things go really well, like if it's just a game against Vegas in November, if things go really well or if things go really bad, you have to temper your hype around it.
I mean, it's a game of moments, and it'll depend on individual performances to me. If the Minton line stinks, what am I going to be? Oh, you guys cost them the game, you useless pieces of crap. Well, if, Marner, Tavares, Nyes cost them the game with a stupid play, I'm going to be a little harsher because what the hell? You guys are supposed to be leading the way. There's also the possibility they might win. So I'm going to hold out hope that that's what happens. I'm excited to see Minton. I didn't really have any inkling that Kampf was hurt. So
No, it doesn't seem like it at all.
No, and IR, so Jesse, maybe you know more about this than I do. IR is based on, like the amount of time you have to spend on IR is based on days or games played or both.
Regular IR is 7 days. Just that's it. Doesn't matter how many games.
So I'm pretty sure this means Kampf is going to miss. If it's retroactive to the 16th, he might only miss one game.
Yeah, because the 16th, whenever a week is, because they play Sunday, not Saturday, against Utah.
Right.
So I assume, what's the 16th?
He's going to miss a maximum of 2 games.
Yeah, there you go. So it'll be, if he's good by the Monday, he'll be back. So yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. They're in a great position, and I keep looking at it from this point.
Oh no, the 16th was last Saturday, so he could play. Sunday.
So he's missing one game.
Yeah, he's missing Wednesday, and then he's eligible to come back on the 24th.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So we're trying to look at this glass half full. Producer Drew naturally was like, I hope you remember all this time off when they're playing 1,000 back-to-backs in the dog days of March.
Yeah.
And it's like, thanks, Drew.
Are they?
Great to speak to you. No, they're just playing 1,000 back-to-backs for the rest of the season, basically.
Right.
After these 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, you know
March
what?
is not March. Sorry, December is packed.
Perfect time for you to sign a bunch of books, right? I think.
I agree.
So
Listen. We're doing a shitload of signings. I think I still have 9 more, and then after the signing in Burlington on the 15th, shutting it down until the spring.
The Leafs lead the league in back-to-backs this season.
Cool.
Do you know how many they have?
16.
They have 16. They are tied with Carolina, who also has 16. No other team even has 15. Oh, Montreal has 15, and then a whole host of them have 14.
With Eastern teams getting all the back-to-backs?
We're closer.
Yeah. Winnipeg is the least amount of back-to-backs. They have 8.
Yeah, but they're also like in the middle of the NHL map. They're in the middle of nowhere. Unless they play Minnesota 10 times, they're in the middle of nowhere.
I just think it's worth noting that a team has double the amount of back-to-backs.
I think it's worth noting that Leafs management has complained about this and not been able to get anywhere. And you wonder, listen, if there's anything that you want Shandy to be able to do, it's have some pull with league head office. He worked there, right?
Yeah.
I remember one year they had 18 back-to-backs, and they lost most of them. It was like a Babcock year, and he kept starting
Was that
an unstartable Garrett Sparks in the back half of them.
Yeah, like
So yeah, it was just it was rough. So with that, I think we leave the Leafs for now because there's nowhere to go here. It's Matthews is clearly not going to be back until at least next Sunday, probably not even then.
Most likely after the Utah game.
Yeah, you got a Vegas test on Wednesday. We can talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. But I look at this and I go, okay, well, it sounds like a midseason game. And you know what? It's nice to be able to say that. Once you get out of the first 10, 15 games, then you're midseason until the last 10, 15 games. And I like midseason.
that's a great way to look at it.
Because midseason is like, okay, we're going to try this and we're going to go, this team's on a crazy 3-week run. And they still might not even make the playoffs. You just never know, right? That this is where we're at. This is the glut of the season. And I like that. I like that rhythm that we get into. Mm-hmm. Get ready for Puck Drop at BetMGM, the official sports betting partner of the NHL in Canada.
Canada?
In Canada. And by the way, hey, listen, Tonight, we could finally see Crosby's 600th NHL goal.
Maybe.
Woo!
Maybe not.
Are you saying yay or nay? I mean, listen, I asked you guys yesterday. Are you feeling good about your picks? Is all I want to say.
I got
They
bit
lost
the last
5-1
time.
to Columbus last game.
No, he's scoring. He's scoring.
Jesse?
The Pittsburgh Penguins play the Tampa Bay Lightning.
He's scoring.
I think he does it.
You say he does. BetMGM has something for every hockey fan, including the anxious ones like Steve.
Yeah, it's going to be an empty netter, but Tampa's going to have the lead. It's going to be weird.
Okay. Download the app today and find out why BetMGM is not only an official sports betting partner of the NHL in Canada, they're also the king of sportsbooks. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. Let's talk about Alexander Ovechkin scoring 5 goals in 5 periods.
And then...
And then what, Steve?
Freaking hurts his knee.
I know.
We all made too much of a deal about a thing that we like. The hockey gods hurt us. And they said, ha.
How bad, though?
How bad did he hurt his knee?
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Week to week is what they said.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He had 15 goals in 18 games. And by the way, my fantasy team is about to suffer. Because not only do I have Ovechkin, but I also have on one of them McMichael Enstrom.
Oh, man. That's so
that
ass.
sucks.
Get out of here, man.
I think it's listen, what's amazing is that at 39 years old, the goals are going in like that. Mm-hmm. And Dan Riccio had a tweet. Dan Riccio, who works at Sportsnet in Vancouver, said, forget breaking Gretzky's record, Ovi's chase has a new twist. Can he do it in fewer games than the great one? 894 goals in 1,487 games for Gretzky, 866 in 1,443 for Ovechkin. That is, if he scores 29 more goals in the next 44 games, he'll hit 895 in fewer games. And 29 in 44 is a very Ovechkin
It's
doable thing to do.
Hard, but doable. Hard, but
that is
absolutely
nuts.
Doable. The threshold I want to see Ovi get over, and he's not going to be able to do it until next season. So he's going to break the goals record.
Yep.
And you can't poke a hole in that. It's the goals record. He has the most goals all time. Except he leads the NHL all time in empty net goals. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be the all-time goals record, and then there's going to be goals on a goalie. And I think he's beating Gretzky by like 20 in that category. Keep going, Alex. You're playing until you're 50. Dance. We need to see it.
Do you know how much it is?
I looked it up recently. Gretzky's somewhere in the 40s. Ovechkin's somewhere in the 60s.
Okay. So he has to beat Gretzky's record by like 20 if he's 20 up on empty netters or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he can do that. Play one more season. He's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't even think that's a conversation. Like, if he plays next year, he should have the most goals on a goalie.
This is what we need. We need the all-time record, and then after that, we're gonna need something else to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
That
900 is the next. I think after that.
Yeah, we gotta come up with new milestones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
right?
900 would be the next one where it's like, holy shit, first ever person to get 900. Then we do professional, because what's Gretzky's professional?
I think
goals
it's 1070 something.
That's a little steep.
Yeah, but then. So this was something that I wanted to do for Hockey Rants and Raves, and I was just like, this is too messy. Like, do Ovechkin's Super League, like Russian Super League goals count from when he was a teenager? His KHL goals from the lockout should surely count.
Yep, 100%, I think.
He might already have him beat.
Right. So
Interesting.
Gretzky had 1,072 professional goals. And that is NHL regular season, NHL playoffs, WHA regular season, WHA playoffs. That's
okay. And then can you do Ovechkin plus KHL? Plus playoffs?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, because you counted Gretzky's playoffs. So do OV plus playoffs plus KHL.
I got it.
So you work on Ovechkin, because I got another guy who I think should be brought into the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here.
Don't wait on me.
Oh, no. I thought you
okay.
had it. Okay.
Well, here's who
I have
muddies.
to pull up Hockey DB for that.
Here's who muddies the waters there. Jaromir Jagr.
What's his playoffs, every other league he's played in, and NHL regular season?
So his NHL regular season 766. So
Right,
he's
down.
far off the record, but he's still
Okay.
probably top 5 all time.
700 and...
In 66.
Yeah.
Plus 78 playoff goals, Stanley Cup playoff goals. Plus in the KHL, he had 25, 22, 19. Now there's Avangard Omsk, which is Russian Super League, which then became the KHL. So add another 16. Now, do we add the Czech League?
Yeah.
All right. 11 plus 24 plus 15 plus 8 plus 5 plus he scored 1 this year. And last question. Oh, wait. No, we got to go even further back. Plus 8 plus 22 plus 8. And do we count the 1 game he played in Germany?
How many did you score?
1 goal.
Yeah.
In 1 game, he had 10 assists that game. That's a real thing. And do we count the second Czech League?
Sure.
Plus 3.
Okay. You're at 1,032. Which is not more than Gretzky.
That's insane.
And then Ovi
Ovi's at what?
is 3 goals away from 1,000 professional goals. He's got 997.
Jagger's played
what was
approximately a billion
1072.
professional games,
1070.
Yeah.
and he still hasn't. He's one of the best ever, and he's still not even really close.
Yep.
So we have Gretzky at 1072 in first place, Jagr at 1032 in second, and then Ovi at 997.
Yep. And it's
All right, we got a race.
What's interesting about Ovi's Russian career is that his numbers are really not that impressive before he reaches the NHL. Like his last year in Moscow, in the Russian Super League at the time, he had 13 goals and 14 assists in 37 games. And then his first year in the NHL, the next year, 52 goals, 54 assists in 81. And it's fun because the KHL is really weird with scoring, right? The big ice. And
Yeah, we've known that for years on this show because we've had the privilege of having KHL insider Steve Dangle.
That's
who worked
right.
for the league.
That's right.
Way back when, and you've always preached that to us: is that the score, you can't just take the numbers from the KHL and apply them to North American hockey because they're wonky.
They are. They are.
Man, his team from his draft plus 1 years, like so stacked. It had Max Afinogenov, Pavel Datsuk on it, but then their top goal scorer. You guys always make such a big deal out of this guy, Pavel Rosa. Like who? It's a different game over there.
It is.
Is that
can
his
be-
photo? Black and white?
Yeah.
It's like a Soviet Union.
I thought-
flag.
Even though he was drafted in 1995.
Looks like they sent him away to the war.
This person is 47 years old. Like they're younger than Chris Chelios by like a decade and a half.
Why does he have a wartime photo
I
from
don't
the 40s?
Well, that's probably because
Hold
he
on,
was.
Hockey DB needs to
I'm gonna bring it up.
update the profile photo of Pavel Rosa.
Everybody, how do you Pavel Rosa?
Rosa.
Look at this ward.
Put it on the screen. That person was born in 1977 and drafted in 1995. Why does he look like that? That person.
I like that LA Kings shot though, like with the turtleneck.
The dude in that photo, like presumably that was taken before he was sent to the Somme. That person retired in 2015.
That's nuts.
No, that's from Vietnam. Like that's that's.
Well, I think LA was going for like a vibe in the early 90s, you know? Like,
And they
Why
should've-
is it black and white?
no, I don't know. It's so weird.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
listening to the show? Really, I think feeling pretty hurt.
If anybody out there knows Pavel Rosa, we'd like to talk to him. That and
Yeah,
him and Tony Ham.
Watch will be like, hey, Pavel Rose is my uncle. It's crazy you guys are talking about
This
him.
is my brother.
I can't believe how often we get those emails.
Yeah,
All the
it's
time.
nuts.
It's
Cannot
crazy.
believe.
It's nuts. Anyway, very cool. Very, very cool for Ovechkin. Bummer about the knee, but hopefully we can get him back and get this thing sewed up by the end of the year.
35 career games missed due to injury.
That's
it.
wild.
That's throughout his entire nearly 20-year career in the NHL.
He's missed more
35
games
with injury.
from lockout
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and from COVID.
This
shortage.
this
Yep.
would have been well done. This would have been over. If
Oh,
it hadn't been
yeah.
for the lockouts. Wow.
Yeah. So the fact that now he has this week-to-week injury, and they said they're going to reevaluate Wednesday to hopefully update the timeline a little better, but right now, week-to-week, it's insane for him to get injured at all.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
He's
And you got to be
built with
careful with
chips
him.
and sub.
The man's 39. He might still be a freight train, but we got to put some oil on those joints. It's a little older now.
He did you see the clip of him testing out the knee?
No.
Oh, didn't like that. Didn't I wish hockey players would stop doing that.
Yeah, it's
Where
probably
they're like,
probably-
let's see how it is. No. Stamkos did that when he broke his friggin' leg.
We're getting close to holiday vacation season, guys. And if you are leaving the country and you don't want to pay roaming charges, might we recommend Saily?
Ooh.
Saily from NordVPN. It's an eSIM and can be installed. Well, you only have to install it once. It eliminates the need for you to install a new eSIM in each country that you go to because you might be going to multiple. Maybe you go to Europe, you pop around.
I'm going to Halifax. Does that count?
That doesn't. I mean, you could still use it because it helps secure you when you're on the road using public Wi-Fi.
There you go. Yeah, even if you're in like the parking lot where you thought a bookstore was going to be, but it's actually just a parking lot. If somebody's trying to hack you there, it'll be very helpful.
Now they can't.
This is why you got Nord, and this is why you got Saily. Significantly reduce or even eliminate roaming fees with affordable eSIM plans in over 160 countries. And honestly, I don't know how many countries there are, but that sure seems like most of them.
So many countries.
So check it out right now. And remember, all Saily eSIM plans are compatible with iOS and Android devices. You get 24/7 support. Chat support is available all the time and a full refund if your device isn't eSIM compatible. Check it out. And here's the deal. You ready? Exclusive 15% discount on Saily
Whoa.
data plans. 15%.
More
Use
than 14.
Use the promo code DANGLE at checkout. Download the Saily app or go to Saily, SAILY.com/dangle.
Best player to ever wear 15.
Me.
Guys, Steel Wind, a longtime listener of the show, blue skied me. I'm on Blue Sky now, both Twitter and Blue Sky. Said, what you guys say about this is up to you, but the schadenfreude of the moment requires, nay, demands that you talk about the Leafs' arch rival, the Boston Bruins, and the disarray surrounding the team. And I have been, let me just say this before you get into it, actively avoiding this. And the reason I have been actively avoiding this is I refuse to acknowledge it. I cannot bring myself to believe that the Boston Bruins are just going through a small funk. I can't even bring myself to believe that they're inconsistent. I can't bring myself to believe that they're they're the second wild card team right now, and that somehow is going to last.
Oh, they're in a
believe
playoff
it.
spot.
Of course, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Their season is going catastrophically. They're in a playoff spot.
Well, because I think, first off, Bruins fans expect more. And also because the teams that were in the Atlantic Division that everybody expected to step up, your Sabres, your Sens, and your Detroit Red Wings, although I'm not sure why anybody expected the Detroit Red Wings to be that much better, they're not.
The Bruins
They're just not. The Sens are just not that good.
They are behind the Sens in points percentage. Just behind. 500 for the Sens, 475 for the Bruins. The Bruins are just up on the 474 Philadelphia Flyers.
That's wild.
472 Buffalo.
The Atlantic Division is not that strong.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, and this is where I want to start, that you could imagine that the Bruins have probably given some points that they probably shouldn't have, is they are league worst. We can relate. League worst on the power play right now at 11.7%. They've scored 9 total this year. Their PDO is at 97.8, so they're not getting the luck.
That's not that bad.
Goal differential is negative 21.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
At this point in the season, yeah.
Especially for a team like this. Their penalty kill is, and I'm just looking for it right now just to make sure that I got my notes right this morning, is 25th in the league. They've yielded 19 goals in 78 opportunities, 75.6%. Special teams is a problem. You can't be last in playoff or in power play and then 7th last in penalty kill and expect to do a whole lot in this league. I remember another black and gold team that were on the fringes of the playoffs last year who had terrible special teams as well. And what happened? They missed.
I'm looking at, so I feel like we did this a couple of weeks ago where we were like, hey, who's scoring on the Bruins? And the answer was no one. I'm looking at the updated list. Still no one. Pastrnak has 8 goals in 20 games. Marchand is 5 in 20 games. Those are the top 2. No one else has over 5.
That's wild.
There's, I dropped my phone. There's Koepka, who I'm pretty sure is right where we left him.
Yes.
Brazo has 4. Coyle has 4. Frederick has 3, and I think he scored 2 the other night. McAvoy 3, Zaka 3, Kastelik 3, which I think is right where we left him. Lindholm is injured. Beecher has 2. Like, dude, who's scoring on this friggin' team?
Well, and Lindholm is an interesting one, and I think we have to, if we're going to talk about the issues with the Bruins, I think they were expecting Lindholm to come in and be. I
meant Hampus Lindholm.
I thought you meant Elias.
No, Elias. Where the hell is he for goal scoring? I'm not even seeing him. Where the hell is Elias Lindholm? I don't even see him on this team.
Do you have the right?
Oh, there he is. No, he's got 2 goals.
Well, and so
he's got 7 assists, but he's got 2 goals.
That's what I want to start with, because so if for those who don't remember, and I don't expect you to, I
also thought I got the wrong team. I was like,
what's going on here? Is it the wrong year or something?
The Boston
That's 100%
Bruins,
what I thought I did.
The Boston Bruins, the Vancouver Canucks acquired Elias Lindholm for a pretty big package from the Calgary Flames last year.
Yeah, big package.
And Zadorov was included in that too. Gigantic package. $420.69. And Elias Lindholm was going to UFA, a former 40-goal scorer. Selke nominee, and a guy who I think the Flames were able to sell high on, because the Vancouver Canucks, as reported by SDPN's Chris Johnson before the trade deadline, they traded for him early enough to find out whether or not they liked him. And they liked him so much they tried to trade him at the trade deadline. And that to me was a red flag. And then watching all of the Canucks games in the playoffs, which I was just fortunate to do so, I didn't think he was very good. I didn't think he was a particular standout. I thought he was fine defensively, which is what he's good at, but I didn't see him being some sort of threat. And then in the offseason, and there's Puck PD is having a bit of an issue with their website today, but I've still pulled up the basics. He gets an 8-year deal at $7.75 from the Bruins. 29-year-old center and former 40-goal scorer. You go, okay, well, it's like that or Chandler Stevenson,
which I don't think is an unreasonable amount.
Not an unreasonable amount. But I look at it, Jess, and I go, maybe they should have done some more scouting on this guy, because I don't know what's happened to his game, but he might not be the guy that drives his own line. He might be the guy who is he's not Batman and Robin to Gaudreau and Kachuk. He's like
that line was so ridiculous.
He might be Alfred, right? Like he might be, and it's not to say
Alfred was very helpful.
So is Lindholm.
I got it.
What is it?
Alfred is
Alfred from Batman.
He's the butler from Batman.
Oh my God.
Right?
He is more than a butler. How dare you talk about Michael Caine or Morgan
butler
Freeman like
from
that?
Batman.
Well, I listen. He played a valuable role, but I look at so obviously the Flames got really bad when Kachuk and Gaudreau left, but he went from 19 goals to 42 goals to 22 goals to 9 goals. But again, he played half the games in 23-24. 9 goals with the Flames, 6 with the Canucks. You could tell this guy wasn't going to score a bunch. And what to me is the issue here is, did the Bruins need him to score, or did they need him to just be the defensive side of Bergeron's game?
I think we're burying the lead. It's valid that they gave this guy all that money, all that term, and he's not scoring. They had, for 2 years, the best tandem in hockey, bar none, with Ullmark and Swayman. This year,
Oh boy,
Swayman is 5-7-2 with an 884 in 14 games. Korpisalo, they shouldn't have got Korpisalo. Oh, he's not that good. He's the better goalie this season. He's 901, which is about bang league average.
Yep.
3-2-1, so he's above 500. He's or above Bettman 500. He's won as many games as he's lost. That to me is the biggest difference. The Bruins used to be able to survive the fact that they didn't score all the time or have, Pasternak. It's sort of like the Matthews conversation that we keep having, where I'm like, hey man, he scored 69 goals last year and they didn't do a ton to improve offensively. If he doesn't score 69 goals for you again, who's scoring for you? How do you make up let's say his production decreases by 20 goals. Where are those 20 goals coming from? Where are Pasta's goals coming from? Mm-hmm. He's scoring at a very good pace, but he's scoring at he's probably going to shave at this current pace, off the top of my head, 15 goals off.
Yep.
Where are those goals coming from? The answer so far is nobody. Nobody. Marchand is second with 5. Dude, nothing is going well. And it's crazy that despite all of that, we're looking at this and we're like, damn, what's going well with the Bruins? Nothing. They're in a playoff spot.
Well, the division is
cockroach, man. They don't go away.
They don't. Jesse?
I know. I think it's shocking to have the league's worst power play and to also be bottom 10 in the league in goals for at 5-on-5 and still manage to win any amount of games.
Yes.
It's to see how dead the offense has been this entire season. It hasn't been a short little stretch here of a couple of games. It's been from day one of the season until now. The fact that they've managed to win games is weirdly impressive, but also you can't go forward like this. It's not sustainable. So you need some sort of change here because if the power play is struggling that much, a lot of that comes down to coaching. Some of it's personnel, but you can coach a power play to be good. So I wonder if a coaching change is in the stars for them.
I have a thought too. Maybe don't get into a public spat with your goaltender and have him miss entire training camp over $2 million. Not just $2 million. $2 million spread over 8 years.
Like a few ice cream.
It was literally 7.8 to 8.1 million. That was the fucking spread here. It's $300,000 a year. And Swayman right now has got the 884 save percentage and a 347 goals against average. Again, I'm sorry, it's because he missed training camp.
I think he's one of the best goalies in the NHL.
Absolutely.
In the same way that William Nylander is one of the best skaters in the NHL, but he sucked ass when he missed 2 months of the season.
Yes.
He sucked ass that season. He did. He was brutal. He was a net negative. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're like, oh, okay, this guy's got holy shit. For the rest of Swayman's contract, I expect him to be very, very good. But all parties involved, Bruins chief among them, made it difficult for him to find success. Getting back to the offense, trivia. How many Bruins have double-digit assists?
Oh, that's a good question. I would think Marchand does. I would think Lindholm Hampus does. I would think
McAvoy, probably.
Pasternak.
All right. So what's your answer?
I'm going to say 5. So we've named 4. One more.
I'm going to say 6.
Okay.
0.
Oh, no.
wow.
Nobody. Pasternak has 9. He really is a one-man crew. Marchand has 8. Elias Lindholm has 7. Highest scoring defenseman, you guessed it, Mason Lohrei with 6. 2 Bruins have double-digit points.
Wow.
Points. They're in a bad way.
They are.
And to quote a tweet that I saw yesterday, haven't any of you ever seen a horror movie?
That's Fullerman. Yes. Yeah. They're coming back, man. They will come back from the dead.
This is why it just in typical, write this down. I might know this team better than the Leafs, honestly, at this point. This becomes part of their story. This becomes part of, they love it. They love it. They won 65 games. Got embarrassed in the first round. So what'd they do? They started hotter. They started hotter than they did the year before.
Yeah.
It just becomes part of their story. The difficulties with Swayman, the tough start, and then the second they just crack the code and they just start Uma Thurmaning their way out of the coffin, they're going to be an unstoppable machine, and I am going to continue to think that that's them.
My bet.
Until they prove that they're not.
My bet is it happens in late January.
And they just fuck shit up?
Absolutely.
Yep.
They peak at the right time.
Who would be surprised?
That's why I started the segment with, I can't bring myself to believe the Bruins are bad.
Nope.
Now,
I'm not interested in even humoring it.
Jesse,
They're good.
you're down at the games. You're talking to coach.
Good.
They're good. You're down at the games.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. They're good.
I wish you had this type of confidence with the Leafs.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, what would the Leafs give him to be that confident?
Why might I have more confidence in the Bruins than the Leafs?
Hey, the Leafs beat Tampa.
How many years
I will
ago?
throw this really messy Christmas decoration across the room.
They took the Bruins to Game 7 multiple times. Look how good they are. Why don't they inspire confidence in
I have a
this team?
wide foot, Jesse. That's just useful information for when I put it up your
What
ass.
have the Bruins ever done? Did the Bruins
Send me to therapy
Did the
multiple times.
Bruins beat Tampa recently?
Oh, my
No.
Serious question. Have you ever spoken to a therapist about a Leafs loss?
No.
No.
And maybe I should. But no. No.
I wondered. I haven't either, but maybe I should. Yeah. Listen, it's one of those things where I look at this and I go, if Swayman is standing on his head like he has the last few years, this problem probably isn't as bad. Specifically, your penalty kill. I don't expect Joonas Korpisalo to be that good, and look at that, he hasn't been. I expect Jeremy Swayman to be Vezina candidate, and your most important penalty killer is your goaltender.
Yep.
And once he gets that rhythm back, and I think it's easier for a goalie to miss training camp and get the rhythm back than it is for a William Nylander who was like 21 and was not used to the rigors. I believe that Swayman's going to find his game, and watch out.
On the note of Jim Montgomery, because
Oh yeah, and I was going to ask Jesse about Jim too, so you go ahead.
well, he's been such a ridiculous regular season coach, basically everywhere he's gone. I don't put this on him, but sometimes coaches get fired when they don't deserve it, and the team gets better anyway.
Yeah.
And is that just the nature of it?
Yes. I mean, look at Todd Richards. Poor Todd Richards, Columbus Blue Jackets. He was the guy that was there before Torts. Torts gets there, and all of a sudden Bobrovsky's like, oh, I remember how to play hockey again.
Bobrovsky's like, I am a goalie from 1984. And then, I'm like a dead puck era Vezina god.
Yeah, and that switch happened essentially when Tortorella
Oh,
took over.
literally the day they brought in Torts.
It was 9 games into the year. Or
It
something.
was so
bad.
obnoxious.
Yeah, and with that, so Jesse, going down to the games, and I know that you weren't there obviously last year, but I have gotten the sense, and perhaps this is a media thing, that things are different there with Berube versus Keefe. Did you get that?
100%. Yeah,
Now, Can you tell us in maybe what ways that you've sensed that?
Well, the things like come from the personality of the head coach, and they work outwards. He's kind of the way the head coach works. It starts with him, and everything kind of projects outward. So Berube has a different mentality and goes about things differently than Sheldon Keefe. Like, they're not similar in their style. So the fact that Berube is just there and is the head coach means that things are different on a day-to-day basis, because that's where the head coach kind of controls things. It's how the team gets up every day and practices and their mentality in the media. So yeah, things are 100% different.
And the reason I ask you that is there was a time long ago when Twitter was in its blue sky phase and everybody was being sweet and kind to each other. This is before we were verifying white supremacists. That was quite the era on Twitter. And I remember people trying to make the argument, and this is crazy in retrospect, but trying to use numbers to make the argument that coaching didn't really have that big of an effect on the game. The big effect was goaltending. There was an argument out there, and again, the advanced stats community does not own this. That's just one weirdo segment that tried to make an argument, and I get it. You want to try things. Test the theory.
A lot of theories were tried before we found ones that worked.
100%. And so I can remember that, and people going, well, how much does coaching really matter? Like, these are professionals, they know. And it matters enormously. And so if Montgomery is to go, if he is the new Boudreau, meaning a great regular season coach, but just the playoffs have not happened for them, and this year the regular season is not even happening for them, my question becomes, who's the guy? And there's the guy that's hanging out just around the NHL, used to coach the Florida Panthers and the Chicago Blackhawks and wasn't allowed in the league for a bit. It sure feels like a Boston Bruins coach, doesn't it?
Coach Q, eh? That someone's pushing the button.
And I would, this management group, listen, this is the same guy.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Sure feels like it.
And also, like, Jeremy Jacobs is in Gary's, like...
Well, Jeremy's not as hands-on. It's his kid, and it's running it.
Let's be honest here. You're talking about WWE 5 years ago. Like, oh, it's not Vince running things, it's Steph. Don't worry, it's all Triple H. Like, it's Vince.
Did you bring up Montgomery's comments about Swayman?
No, I didn't. Do you want me to?
I had them here.
Okay.
He said, I'm of the opinion that Jim Montgomery should be fired. I feel like if you want that new coach bump, it would fit perfectly in Boston, and Todd McClellan is a good replacement there. He's a free agent. You can just go get him.
Okay.
Gerard Gallant, probably not. It's probably not a long-term solution, but he's a good, hey, we can get him for this season. They have an assistant coach there, Jay Leach. Mm-hmm. They could just promote him, which might be a decent solution. But I thought we were reaching a breaking point with Jim Montgomery when he said this about Swayman last night after the Columbus loss. I don't think missing training camp helps anyone. That's why it's training camp. But by no means do I think today is Jeremy Swayman not having training camp. So Swayman was bad. He wasn't great against Columbus at all. But it's not in the best interest of the head coach to call out your goaltender for missing training camp, because we all know what went into those negotiations. It wasn't like Swayman said, you know what, I don't feel like practicing this year. I'm not going to show up. No, there was a whole thing that went into the contract and why he wasn't there. You can't a month and a half into the season be like, you know what, this fucking guy wasn't here for training camp.
Well, would you leave money on the table there, Monty? Like,
right? Like, what would you have done in that situation? And he's done with this with Pasta countless times in the last, like,
and it worked though.
It has worked, but eventually this shit wears thin. You can't just keep going to the well of calling out your players in front of the media. And for me, I'm like, if I'm a Bruins player or I'm a Bruins fan, I'm kind of sick of Jim Montgomery. So I would be on the side of, hey, we can move on here if this losing continues.
What do you think about a Jay Woodcroft?
Woodcroft's interesting too.
Woodcroft, I keep thinking, because he did so well with the Oilers just until he didn't, which is kind of Jim Montgomery in a nutshell. But those teams could score. They had the worst goaltending in human history. And I just feel like Swayman returning to form and a coach who can cobble together a team that can score some goals, he could be an interesting fit there. But, I'm talking about Woodcroft, who has so little NHL experience. And again, the Coach Q button is right there. Right there.
I assume we'll get to it, but the Edmonton Oilers start to this season kind of vindicates Jay Woodcroft for me. I'm like, you know what? Last year's slow start probably wasn't his fault.
Well, they got a new coach bump.
Exactly.
I mean, a new coach bump. They almost rode to a cup.
Yeah.
Coaches. I think what I've discovered about coaching over the last decade plus, and especially the way we talk about it, it's just not fair. It's not friggin' fair. And so much of it is not about what a brilliant tactician you are. It's, can you get your players to listen to you?
One guy saying, hey, play harder. And then another guy saying, play harder. Like, go play harder.
Yeah.
They have different effects just because of the person delivering the message.
Yes.
Is John Tortorella going to end up in the Hall of Fame?
John,
I think-
yes.
oh, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. How many times has he been fired?
A lot.
Yeah. Like Paul Maurice might end up there too.
100%.
That guy's been fired a ton of times.
Yeah.
So many coaches so rarely how are you firing one of the best coaches of all time? It's like trading a Hockey Hall of Fame player for draft picks or whatever, not because you're a seller, but because you're like, this guy is no longer good for our team. So much of coaching is just unfair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what did I keep hammering with Keefe? I know he's not in the echelon of these guys, but hey, playoff style goals, go to the net. Playoff style goals, go to the net. Playoff style goals, go to the net. They don't do it. They bring Berube and he goes, go to the net. And they go, oh, yes, sir.
It's the same thing.
Is the strategy even that different?
No, it's just a different vessel. You're just receiving the information through a new human, and they're like, okay, we'll do it this time. It's the same thing.
You had Babcock, go to the net, you fucking worthless piece of shit. And then you have Keefe, hey, what if we all went to the net? Mm-hmm. And then they did it for a while, and then I don't really feel like going to the net. And then, hey, get off the shed and go to the net. And they go to the net. I'm sure there are little idiosyncrasies and minor things that coaches do that it makes some coaches more brilliant than others. Mm-hmm. So much of it is just motivating people to do stuff. Rick Tocchet in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Did he revolutionize the way they play hockey games, or is that just a locker room you got to manage more than others, and he knows how to do it?
All right.
Yeah.
So going back to your point earlier about coaches not having an effect, they certainly do. They certainly have an effect. And I think if the Bruins choose to move on from Jim Montgomery, we're going to see a positive upswing no matter who's in there, whether it's Woodcroft, whether it's Q, whether it's anybody.
And they don't see the Bruins. You have to give so much credit to the Bruins. Do not have the locker room management issues that say Vancouver would have had. Winnipeg had it for a while. You know who else had it? Were the Penguins teams that won cups. And Rick Tocchet was the assistant coach and had to manage those personalities.
Hey,
and I think,
I'm going to do everything else. You manage Phil and Gino.
make sure that they will step on the ice and not kill each other.
Yeah, I don't know what Tocchet's job was, if he managed the penalty kill or the power play. No. Just make sure those two don't kill each other.
Yeah.
And we'll win a cup.
Now, as of this morning, and I don't think you guys have seen this, JT Miller has taken an extended leave of absence from the Vancouver Canucks. They've put out a statement. Canucks forward JT Miller takes a leave of indefinite leave for personal reasons. Vancouver GM Patrick Allvin announced today that forward JT Miller will be taking an indefinite leave of absence from the team for personal reasons. Right now, our sole focus is making sure that JT knows the entire organization is here to support him. Said Allvin, out of respect to JT, we will have no further comment at this time. So, I thought since Tocchet's name came up, it was worthwhile mentioning that. I didn't want to distract too much, but that's breaking news as of 15 minutes ago.
Well, he benched JT Miller and then was asked about that, and he goes, well, I put out the guys who I thought could get us back in the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people took that as a shot at JT Miller, but I don't know, it sounds pretty authentic.
Yeah. Oh, certainly.
That's real concerning. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely.
It's been a rough little start to the season for Vancouver.
It sure has.
With the Demko stuff in training camp, that's always been so awkward because his injury, it was like, okay, he could come back next round if they make it. If they go to the Stanley Cup final, we could get Demko. And then he shows up to training camp and is like, hey, I have an injury that no other hockey player has ever had, and a couple soccer players have had it. And then Elias Pettersson goes on this weird goalless streak of he can't score at 5-on-5. And then JT Miller gets benched, and then day after he gets benched, he's on a leave of absence. It's been a whirlwind in Vancouver.
And where are the Canucks? They are third in the Pacific, and if they win the game in hand, they have. If they win the 2 games in hand they have over the Kings, they pass them, and if they win the game in hand they have over Vegas, they're within 1 point. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about 2 teams here where a lot of things are going wrong. They're both still in a playoff spot. One of them is in a greater position of panic than the other.
When do the standings start mattering? Because
right around now.
CJ was talking about how he hasn't looked at the standings. I think it was on last week's CJ show. He's like, I don't even know where teams are positioned because I don't care about the standings until later in the season. When does it start mattering?
And well, I think the American Thanksgiving thing. So I think it's coming up to mattering. Mm-hmm. I think it's worth looking at.
Like here, I'll give you an idea. Pittsburgh. Disaster. Could things have gone worse for them to start the season?
No.
Bruins are in the second wild card. 20 games played, 19 points. Mm-hmm. Second wild card. Mm-hmm. The 7th wild card. So not a playoff team, but they're 7th in the wild card race. Pittsburgh Penguins. 20 games played, 17 points. Bruins,
we love parity.
Lose their next team. Penguins win it. They're tied.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're still not at the point where it should matter too much, right?
Yeah. I mean, percentage is a big deal.
It's a story when Boston has the league's worst power play and league's worst penalty kill, but I don't know if it's a story that like where they are in the standings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're bottom. What was their goal differential? You said it was like
negative
bottom,
21,
which will tied for like the worst in the league.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Second worst.
Yeah. I'll have a look at
goal differential. To me, matters over a larger period of time.
It's tied for second worst in the league with San Jose, who's also minus 21. The worst team in goal differential is the Pittsburgh Penguins at minus 25. So there you go.
Yeah, but that just means like the Penguins have gotten their asses kicked more often.
Which I think means something.
I think it does.
It does, but like, are you winning games or not? Like, to me, that's the thing that matters most.
And I don't think with the negative 21 that you are.
They're not.
I don't understand. I think it means something.
I think
I think them being the Penguins, Sharks, and Bruins all being in the minus 20 in goal differential means more than where they're sitting in the standings.
Yes.
I'm just saying you could lose. You could have a winning record and lose like 2 games 5-0.
Okay, but
that's not what happened.
And also, how many games is a long enough sample size for you? We're 25% into the season. There's teams with 20 games. Yes.
Yeah.
18 games. Yes, we are.
I think goal differential means more than the standings.
I think it means a ton.
Okay, we need to put a date. December 1st.
For goal differential to mean something to you?
Yeah.
What about the Jets with a plus 31 or the Caps with a plus 28 or the
No one
Hurricanes
has
with a
talked
plus
about
27?
how good the Jets are.
No one.
No one.
Except for everyone.
Steve,
if you take everyone into account, then yeah.
Steve, were you not just giving the standings about where the Vancouver Canucks are?
Jesse, bro, I just come up with shit on the fly, and sometimes it's contradictory, and it doesn't work.
I like that.
Thank you, Maddie, for the hand signal. I'm just yapping.
Oh, yeah. Yapologist, Steve.
Yeah.
You went to Yap University.
Just gumming. All right.
It's a good day. It was fun today.
Fun.
Okay, so the last thing I want to really, really hit, and then we've got to get to
her
some
hand
stuff in the
ate
press
my
conference,
hand.
but I really wanted to talk about this yesterday. And look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, the salary cap is about to explode. Gary can only keep it down so long. Escrow can only be at 20% for so long.
Yep.
Actually, it's probably down at 0 at this point. Revenues next season, according to James Myrtle, could easily exceed $7 billion. To give you an idea of how big of a jump that is, coming out of 2022-23, revenues were at $6 billion. So $1 billion uptick in revenue, or probably 12% year over year, for essentially the same cost in business terms, is pretty spectacular. NHL costs have not gone up that much. Salaries have definitely not gone up very much. And yet the NHL is going, well, we could be at $7 billion. And that does not count expansion fees or any other. This is just hockey-related revenues. These are enormous numbers. This is a huge jump. And again, I go into, when the Maple Leafs Sports and Entertainment sell, when Bell sells to Rogers, or Jeff Vinik in Tampa sells 10% of his team, or the Pagulas sell 10% of their team in Buffalo, or their sports entertainment group. None of that is hockey-related revenue. That's just owners being rich and selling their rich assets. That is not revenue. We're talking about TV deals. We're talking about sponsorships. We are talking about people spending more on tickets, corporations spending more on boxes, season tickets, all that. And this is a big deal. If the 2026 cap calculation is anything like it was under the previous CBA, the salary cap ceiling at that time, this is a year and a half from now, would be $112 million or more. And that changed over the pandemic because the league and the players had to come together and go, hey, how are we going to do this? Because the players were like, yeah, we'd still like to make the same amount of money. And the owners were like, yeah, us too, except. So they figured out a deal.
No.
The players have well paid that off. And you're talking about a potential jump of like $20 million or more in the offseason. And that's not this offseason. That would be next. Now, the caveat here is we're projecting revenues into the future. But remember, the salary cap is always based on about 2 years behind.
Yes.
And so, because it takes them so long to calculate everything. Sure. The one thing I want to say to you is that there are a lot of people inside the game on the players' side who are more than happy to just let it blow up. And it's interesting because guess who's a free agent the season that the salary cap is due to go up?
I hate it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Connor McDavid.
Oh, I thought I'm looking at this and I'm like, Marner needs a contract.
Nope, it's not Marner.
needs a contract. Nyes needs a contract. Damn it.
And
So this is for next season?
this is for the end of 25-26, July 1st, 2026.
So the end of next season.
Yeah, if they don't
right.
negotiate a riser in this deal that basically takes the formula that they've used to this date and exceeds it. Because this is what the NHL wants to do. The NHL and the owners, they want to go to the Players Association and say, hey guys, listen, we don't want to see a jump like that in 1 year. We would like to ideally spread that out over 2 or 3 years. Reasons being, obviously, a jump in cost. But then you end up with what the NBA did in 15-16, where Steph Curry is making less money than the guy on the bench for the Raptors because he signed a contract before the TV rights deal kicked in, and they didn't deal with it. And then, they put the Warriors dynasty together. They were able to go get Durant.
An unrealistic jump in the salary cap, which shouldn't have happened, allowed the Golden State Warriors, who are already the greatest regular season team of all time, to sign Kevin Durant to a max contract.
We're already cartoonishly good and should be losing players. Psych. Kevin Durant.
Yeah. It messed up the league for years.
So
messed up or not. I shouldn't use that. Maybe it made it better.
I don't know. Like, I listen, the NBA didn't get any less exciting. I'll put it that way.
If anything, it got better. Yeah.
Well, it's like how, I watch one Patriots game a year, the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And I watch 7 Warriors games a year when they go to the final.
Yeah.
Basically. Also 7 LeBron games. They just kept playing each other.
So what's interesting here, and Alan and I are doing a show tomorrow morning. We're going to record it.
Is it going to be good or bad?
It's going to be good. Okay. And Alan's going to explain some of the more intricate details of this that even James doesn't get into in his article, which is spectacular, and you should check it out. But what I think is interesting here, guys, for our purposes discussing right now, with my 1,000-foot understanding of this, is for the first time
in forever,
we have a players' association with a significant bargaining chip when it comes to the CBA negotiations. Part of the reason that the NHL kept the players out of things like the Olympics and World Championships is because the players wanted it. And Gary's like, well, you want that? Great, I'm going to use that against you. And he did. And you can argue, and I would, that hurt the game in the long run. But for Gary and for the owners, it was about leverage over the players. This piece of leverage, if the players play this properly, is the first significant piece of leverage the players have had as a union over the NHL in a long, long time. And there was some concern that if Kamala Harris won the presidential election, that Marty Walsh was going to leave the NHLPA and go back to her administration because he notably came from them as the Secretary of Labor. And
So he was part of the Biden administration.
he was.
Okay.
And so he'll be, and he was also the mayor of Boston.
Yes.
So he's been an absolute revelation for the NHLPA. And so I think we're in for one or two of the more exciting off seasons we've ever seen. On one hand, I don't think the players agree to move this over 2 seasons unless concessions are made from the owners on the salary cap overall. Because here's the deal. There are rumors circulating within the NHLPA right now that especially the superstar players are starting to get really pissed off about the fact that look at what Juan Soto's going to make. Look what Ohtani made. Look at what the NBA players are making. And look at what NHL players are making. Chris Boucher's making more than Connor McDavid.
It makes it look Mickey Mouse.
It does. And the players are aware that now every team is worth over $1 billion. You're seeing some teams year over year, their franchise values are going 30 and 40%. And the players, based on the way the CBA is calculated, are not participating in that because asset value isn't taken into account. And I know this is sort of boring and dry, but we could, guys, see. We think the salary cap is going to go up about to $94.5 million or $92.5 million. What Elliot Friedman suggested last weekend is that it could go as high as 97. I think he's being conservative. If this deal is negotiated between the PA and the NHL, I think it will have CBA ramifications. And I think we're at $100 million next summer. And I think and I could say that because I'm not Elliot Friedman. I could say that because those are some of the wilder predictions. And if I'm wrong, who cares? I'm not Elliot Friedman. But I'm telling you, if Elliot's saying 97, Elliot's being conservative because he's protecting his reputation. Yeah. I look at this, guys. We're talking about $20 million in one off season, and that's based on the projections. This year, the NHL's already humming along at a much higher clip than they thought.
Which is great.
Think about this.
32 teams pulling in the same direction.
We're $87.5 million. A $10 million jump in one off season is going to be crazy. If, though, it doesn't happen and the players go, okay, well, you haven't given us enough, so we're going to just do the jump next year. The amount of one-year deals signed this offseason is going to be... I was just going to say,
and you know one or two.
That's what happened in the NBA, too. Yeah. Guys like LeBron signed one-year contracts. Like, I look at a guy like Mitch Marner, who's obviously near and dear in Toronto, who's got a deal that expires at the end of this season. If you're him, I'm not signing that contract now. So I'll sign a one-year deal. Thank you very much. And we'll renegotiate once the whole thing's set up.
When Darren Dreger pitched the idea of Matthew Nyes signing a bridge deal, I was ticked because I'm like, why would the Leafs do that? Well,
I don't think that he's going to give them a choice.
It takes two to tango, right? And listen, there could be some friggin' stacked teams over the next couple of years because they're like, I'll just wait.
Well, I think of a guy like Vlad Gavrikov in LA. He signed a 2-year deal knowing that this bump was going to come.
And we were like, why did he do that?
But his 2-year deal expires this year. Mm-hmm. The bump could come next year.
Right.
And so I'm fascinated for guys like him that did that on purpose because he's still a very valuable piece. That could be the difference for Gavrikov. He's making about $6 million now. I would expect he's going to get a 7 or an 8 next year. Mm-hmm. If he has to wait an extra year, like that is going to be a gargantuan number for guys like him.
Let me. If I'm a member of the Players Association, this is a priority for me. According to Puckpedia, NHL minimum salary 2018-19 was $650,000. Next year, it jumps $50,000 to $700,000, and it lasts that way for 3 seasons. Oh no, sorry, 2 seasons. Then it takes another jump to $750,000. This year it's $775,000, and next year it'll still be $775,000. That's peanuts. It's nothing. NHL minimum, the stars should be making more.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
minimum's got to come up too.
Well, I
and
think
more than the pittance it's been.
I think
going
that's
up.
a PA issue, and I think that they will be addressing that.
It's like is a goal of minimum salary of $1 million realistic? And then the number that's variable's got to change, and then there's more players making closer to that than there are closer to McDavid.
Yep.
Right? So to me, that's something that has to come up if I'm part of that union.
I think that they will. I just think this is going to be some of the more exciting. Like, if you play your cards right here in the next couple of years, and let's say cooler heads prevail, and they probably will, and they loop this into the new CBA deal. Nobody sees a work stoppage coming, thank God, because, we have a network based on this stuff. So that's exciting. That's good. The thing that I think is interesting is if you have a team that's really intelligent about the signings and the trades that they make, you've got an entire roster in some cases of depressed value contracts, and you can add a couple of stars, and we're going to see some teams blow a ton of money and be terrible, and we're going to see some teams, even at a $10 million jump, which is what Friedge is reporting, again, conservative, as it should be, you're going to have other teams going like, oh my God, like we just absolutely have a home run for the next 3 years because all of these contracts. You look at Matthews. Thank God they signed him.
Oh yeah,
Nylander. Thank God they signed him.
It's not necessarily about buying UFA years. It's buying post jump years.
Yes.
I wish they signed Matthews for longer now.
Well, he didn't want that.
But
again, it's up to him.
He didn't want it.
It's up to, but they got him to agree to. I guess that'd be 3. Is he on a 4-year deal or a 5?
5.
And
So
it
he's on a
started
5-year deal. So they signed 3 post jump years.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
And this is where the Leafs didn't take advantage of this last time. The Leafs had this similar situation when you had Marner, Matthews, Nylander on their ELCs, and they took that extra cap space and they went and got Patrick Marleau, and it ended up costing them a first-round pick, which is now Seth Jarvis. No guarantees they would have picked Seth Jarvis, but man, he'd be great. If you're the Leafs or you're any other organization, you need to take advantage of these depressed value contracts, and you need to go out and get that piece. The piece is now. And this is why I think for the Toronto Maple Leafs, bringing it back to them, they need to make a trade for the centerman now. Make the trade now.
I think you're going to see a lot of trades for guys who have contracts this year and next.
Yes. All of a sudden, the guys with 2 and 3 year deals are going to be worth multiple first-round picks.
You're going to...
Like not just one.
For years, teams have avoided trading for term. And now it's attractive to trade for term.
Yep.
That spices up the trade deadline in a big, big way. And I know every year we're like, oh, this could be big. But like, there hasn't been room to friggin' breathe.
Yep.
And now that there is, it's a beautiful thing.
If you're looking at players who are having issues with teams or they're about to move on, or like think about a guy like Taylor Hall, right?
Yeah, that's
who's not been great in Chicago, but the Chicago's not that great. So that seems to be an awkward fit. That guy might be $4 million. It might be worth a lot.
and it's like $4 million.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah,
That's 4% of the cap. Who cares?
the percent of the cap is going to be big.
Yes.
For all.
We're going to start, I believe, media-wise, I think we're all going to start talking in terms of percentage of cap deals rather than real money deals. I think the better, more accurate way to look at it is what is the percent of the cap that this is taking up versus their last contract. I think I think we're moving in that direction. I'm starting to hear it more in the vernacular. So anyway, very, very exciting. I just wanted to throw that out there. This trade deadline and this free agency and the next free agency are going to be, I think, awesome.
Adam,
When everybody makes more money, it's great.
listen,
Yep.
having more cap space helps you win the Stanley Cup.
Depends what you do with it.
It helps you win the Stanley Cup. It's proven. The other thing that helps you win the Stanley Cup, and it's proven, is former Leafs. And the Edmonton Oilers
Oh, I just saw it.
continue to be the league leader in former Leafs. They just, in the middle of this show, got Kasperi Kapanen.
Yep.
You know what? I feel like for years we were talking about Kapanen playing with McDavid and how funny that would look. Like just two guys who go, wee!
Yep. I kind of like it.
Screw it. Go for it. I mean, that's a decent little depending on how long he's out, like you probably look at Kapanen as a Arvidsson replacement.
Yep.
Speedy, right-handed shot. Can maybe kill some penalties for you.
Can I throw something?
Jeff Jackson, man, loves a former Oiler.
I want to talk about a different Jeff, gentlemen. Jeff Skinner.
What about him?
$3 million.
Okay.
6 points in 19 games.
Not great. That's the sort of contract where I think it fits into the conversation we just had. Years ago, it's like, well, that's an unmovable albatross built into the foundation of our team, and we're frigged. And now it's like, you can move him.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Having seen Kasperi Kapanen as much as you have as a Leaf fan, and as a Penguins fan, because we paid some attention to the Penguins, he played there too. Do you think he's a factor on this team?
No. Not really. Just based on the game last night against Montreal.
Even with their depth?
Yeah, he's going to be a factor, obviously. Like, he's going to be a very useful player, but it's not what they need to fix the team. Like, I feel like everybody on the team knows what's wrong with the Edmonton Oilers, and they're all been saying it. They all said it post game last night. Can I talk about the game last night?
Yeah,
the Amazon game. Oilers,
that I didn't stream. Remember,
Adam refused to stream because he hates the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
he hates real Canada is what he hates.
Yeah.
He hates the real NHL.
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah,
I am doing Vegas Leafs tomorrow, by the way.
So last night, Edmonton loses to Montreal 3-0. It's 2 goals that go into past a goalie, past Picard, one into an empty net, and that was supposed to be their big bounce back game. You know, you're facing the end of the standings after you get embarrassed by the Leafs on Saturday night because you choke away this lead, and you come back and you go to Montreal and you're like, okay, first night of a back to back because they play again tonight against Ottawa. So this is our get right game. And what happens is they don't show up and they get shut out by Sam Montembeault. And after the game, Knobloch and Derek Ryan seem to both know what was wrong with the team. Knobloch says, we had a lot of possession time, but a lot of it was on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. Especially in the second period, there was a lot of time in the offensive zone, but we didn't really generate very much.
So you got Kasperi Kapanen?
That's why initially I was like, no, I want to get into this because Kasperi Kapanen doesn't fix what's wrong with your team, Mr. Coach.
He's exactly that. He is going to skate Mach 14 down the wing, throw on the brakes, and look for someone to pass to.
Let me finish the quotes here from the coach. He said, I don't think we had our first 5-on-5 chance until the second half of the period. As good as it looked, we really didn't have many opportunities to score. So that's the head coach saying, we didn't score anything because we didn't get towards the net. Derek Ryan said post-game, we controlled a lot of the puck, had some time in the offensive zone, but maybe a little bit too much on the perimeter.
Right.
We had to find some ways to get to the interior parts of the ice, win some battles in front of the net, get second and third chances. That's where you score goals when you're struggling to score.
Go to the net!
It's more of a mentality change. You're not going to score pretty goals all the time. You have to find out. You have to find it out and get a greasy one now and then. The teams that are scoring at a high rate in this league are doing those things. So there we have everybody saying, we don't score the greasy goals. Now let's go bring Kasperi Kapanen to this team to solve things.
There's another guy
who is the opposite of a greasy goal scorer.
Drives you insane. The Leafs had a type, and that type was super talented dudes who couldn't put it together. Kapanen, Engvall, Janssen, Kerfoot.
I'll throw VC in there. He came and he played well in New York after.
Yeah. It's drives you nuts. This player. He's got crazy feet. Crazy feet. Decent hands too. Fun penalty killer. Infuriating. Truly an infuriating player.
Listen, I want to put a disclaimer on this episode.
What's that?
The disclaimer is that there are rumors that Jim Montgomery has been fired, and I'm following it, but I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
But I don't know that that's the case, and that would be very us to talk about it. So I'm sorry.
To finish off with the game,
yes.
I can't. So Evan Bouchard's very lucky because the replay of the goal that was scored for Montreal at the end of the second, the opening goal that happens at the end of the second period. It starts with an Evan Bouchard turnover. And he's not playing hard enough on the puck 2 nights in a row, and the puck goes the other way, and it's a 2-on-1. It's a shorthanded chance, or it's a 2-on-1, I think, and Montreal scores. But the replay that we have in the goal visualizer, it starts just after the turnover, so he gets very lucky. But I was trying to go back in the Amazon stream just to see if I could pull it up, but it's very hard to navigate to it. But I think I got it here, just so you guys can watch it off screen. Steve, if you stop.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to check in on what Adam was talking about.
No, don't.
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 You're very distracted.
Don't. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, we can get to it. We're doing another show. So I believe we're going to get to the goal here shortly. But Evan Bouchard's on the just inside the blue line, and he gets the puck, and it's such an easy pickpocket by the Habs player. So right here, Evan Bouchard gets the puck. You guys can see that there. So I'll scroll back 10 seconds. And if you want to take us through what's happening when Ekholm throws it to Bouchard right here, you'll see it starts a chance.
So he drops it to Bouchard on the left boards.
And there you go. That was it.
Oh, no.
That was it.
Can you freeze that?
That leads. So I can't really, because the Amazon stream, it's kind of sticky when you freeze it. But I can try and get it here, and we can bring it up this screenshot. This is probably terrible for the audio.
Screenshot, but
yeah, this is probably terrible podcasting. I'm sorry, but I wanted to show these guys this goal. So
I got it. I don't got it.
Oh, my.
You know, that's a good stick. Who's the player? Who's the Habs player?
I don't know the Habs player. I can't see the number.
It was a good
forget.
stick, but he's so casual, man.
So you can pull up this screenshot. So this is right after Bouchard's pickpocketed, and it leads directly to a goal. With Adam, this is your least favorite goal that NHL teams score.
Stop allowing goals with a minute to go.
43.5.
Focus for 40 seconds, boys.
The Habs are getting outshot to oblivion.
And this is Jesse. When you play and I encourage everybody to look at this. Go on your Amazon account, check it out. What's crazy about this play is that Ekholm makes a great pass, and it's just so casual what Bouchard. That's the best way I can describe. It's just that, yeah, I got this. It's Montreal. No, you don't. And that Suzuki line is not to be messed with. And this is the goal after this is pretty good. But I got to say, like, there is one guy back, and there are 3 Canadians I look at there who are mid-stride and ready to.
Yeah, because Bouchard, you're the defenseman. Since you're so casual with the puck, and this is why I think the conversation comes full circle. It's what the coach is talking about. It's what Derek Ryan's talking about. Being tough, being hard on the puck, playing with a sense of importance where you're not no intensity, and you are the defenseman. You are there, and the last man back. If you get pickpocketed, they're going the other way.
You go to Nathan Phillips Square, like lunchtime, any given weekday in the winter, you see people doing harder crossovers than that. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
So so Drew, of course, being spicy Drew, isolated the Bouchard clip from yesterday's show, put it up on the thing. And we tweeted it out this morning. I had people tweeting me, and I know it's well-meaning, but they're like, listen, this guy's got game-breaking talent, Bouchard. I would rather have his high-end talent than some guy like Tanev who only plays defense. And I'm like, listen, I get that, but have you heard of Cale Makar?
They're different people.
And this is the thing, and we talk about needs for Canada people, and they said to me, well, you're only pointing out like a couple of plays from one game. Guys,
it's every game.
This is an Evan Bouchard problem. And when he fixes it, because he will,
yes,
he's gonna win the Norris every year. Him and Makar and Fox.
He's a completely absurd.
Oh, Hughes too.
Oh yeah, and Hughes.
The rating.
We are like
Norris trophy.
We are in a golden era of great defense.
And Connor Timmins, yeah.
And Connor.
Like he's what? No, listen, we went through this last episode. You take the bad with Evan Bouchard because the good so grossly outweighs it.
Yeah.
It's just the bad seems so fixable. Like I just like okay, if so his good skills, like this is why I was willing to forgive him on the second goal against the Leafs, the one where he gives it away, hits McDavid's butt, and Nye scores.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, that's an offensive defenseman trying to make an offensive play that didn't work, and it's okay. You take the good with the bad. This is just sloppy and lazy. Like there's no To me, I'm not like, well, you let this go because where are you going? Where are you going? Who's it going to?
So
it's lazy.
On this screenshot here, I brought it back a little bit. It's when he initially receives the pass, and he's about to be poked and lose the puck by this player right here. And you're the last man back. You're the defenseman. You can't lose this here. You're going to be screwed. And Montreal took advantage of the situation. And Bouchard's had too many of these lately. Yep. He's on pace for half as many points as he had last year. And I believe it was 82 he had last year. And this year he's on a 42-point pace.
I'd be curious what his pace was before Knobloch got hired.
Definitely.
And then I'm sure he just ripped shit up.
Definitely. But we got to take it for what it is right now. He's not producing off. The entire team isn't producing offensively to justify the lack of effort by the entire team.
Yes.
Not just Bouchard, but the whole Oilers aren't playing good hockey. And they can't get a save. The second goal, I won't bother trying to isolate it or anything, but the second goal is Bouchard's on the ice for it, but it's not entirely his fault. Draisaitl isn't hard on the puck along the boards. The Canadians take it out to the center of the ice, and then you want Pickard to give you a save in that situation, and he can't do it.
And going into this season, Jesse, the one thing that we were sure of with the Oilers that they were going to be able to score all the way throughout the lineup. But as I pointed out at the beginning of the segment with Jeff Skinner, you're not getting it. You're not getting it, and it can't be. Like McDavid scores a lot. Draisaitl scores a lot. It can't be, as we know in Toronto, it can't be the big boys every night of the year.
And there's one puck. We look at a team, and there are 4 lines of depth, right? With the Oilers, we see 4 lines of depth. It's not simply your group of forwards is better than their group of forwards. Every team has a couple lines that'll kill you. And they have, depending on their offensive depth, they're probably built for, all right, here's our stopper line, because they can't score nearly as well as the other one. So they're there to screw you up, right? Think of like Deneau from the 2021 playoffs. He wasn't going to score very much, but he screws it up. If we're matching like Jeff Skinner's line, for example, an Oilers line that can score, but they're not as good defensively, they're going to be a minus.
Yep.
They're going to be a net negative.
Yep.
Because, I mean, okay, yeah, you got great players and you have the best player in the world. We have some good ones too. And if you don't play us properly, if you don't treat us like a threat, we're going to burn you. It's the best league in the world. We'll kill you. And that's what teams are doing. The Habs can do it too. And the Habs have been brutal. Mm-hmm. But, you know, as they showed against the Leafs, they're capable of games like this.
And just to back up the point on the offense, and there's one puck, the Edmonton Journal had a good breakdown of the game and just the pieces of the Oilers that just aren't working. And the Oilers haven't had a goal from that didn't have McDavid and Draisaitl in on it since November 9th.
It's
been 4 straight games where every goal they've scored has had McDavid and Draisaitl in on it at
10 days
somehow.
Ago.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's unacceptable.
Especially when you have guys lower in the lineup who were expected to.
Yeah.
So.
And then late in the game, too, they pointed this out. Arbor Jackeye smashed Zach Hyman. Like, he got a hold of him, and there was no response. There's no response from the Oilers. And that's the point where you're like, okay, the offense isn't working hard. There's no response from the team. Like, how do we fix this?
Well, you know, you don't want to speak it into existence. Reeves takes out Nurse. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, first of all, the Oilers are about to kill the Leafs on this 5-minute penalty. And second, there's going to be a response.
Yep, some fight.
Reeves isn't in the game anymore. So who's going to get it?
Nobody.
No one got it. And I know Evander Kane's not there right now. You still, like, Perry's an asshole. Mm-hmm. Henrique's a pretty tough nut. You got some guys in the back end. Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Yeah, it's bad, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that we got some trouble in Edmonton right now.
Why don't we wrap it there? Because we're going to be back tomorrow. So if we missed anything, we can always come back. Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Can you guys tell me whether or not Jim Montgomery was fired?
Steve, did you talk to your source?
Nothing yet.
Okay. I want to pull up here. this NHL car watch because I've been teasing it for a few episodes now, and we haven't had a chance to get to it. So I think you're going to have to give me a moment so I can pull this up.
Here, let me check Twitter for news. Oh, boobs. Oh, a random death. Oh, racism. Nope, no news.
I believe we're all on Blue Sky as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're all there. If people aren't a big fan of Twitter anymore,
We're on both.
we are on Blue Sky. I can't find the car watch. Adam, do you have anything right now?
You stupid idiot.
So I can find this car
Well,
watch.
I have anything at the moment. I sure can ask you a question. Jesse, I got one for you. Do
What is it?
you want to tell the story about who introduced themselves this weekend? I think this is cool. Jesse's not going to think this is cool, but I think this is kind of neat. All right? Because I think here's what happens. People get into the reporter thing, and they forget that all the stuff that they do every day would be like a crazy once-in-a-lifetime experience for most of us fans. Mm-hmm. And so who came up on Saturday at, I believe, morning skate? Or was it after the game?
Cliff
Before
Fletcher.
morning skate. And no. I'm still. Let's not pretend I'm not still over the moon about it.
Oh, no. I know. But that's why we're having these conversations.
Yeah.
Because you're going, hey, this happened. Isn't that crazy? And CJ would be like, yeah. So, like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Because they're experienced, right?
No, I'm on the side of like the people I'm around all the time when we're down at the rink, and like all the reporters, like they're just going about their business. They've been doing it for decades plus. They don't realize how cool everything is. Like every little, if you're a hockey fan, every little part of having access to a hockey team is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Saturday, I leave the media avail for the Leafs. It was, who spoke last? I think it was Hockenpah or something. Or no, it was. I think it might have been when we were in the dressing room. I forget. It might have been Hockenpah's. Anyways, I leave the media avail for the Leafs, and I go back into the ice area, into the bowl, to watch Edmonton do their morning skate. And I'm standing there, and all the reporters are kind of by the glass, and I just go up to a spot near the boards on the other side, just so I can check out and see what McDavid's doing, what Drysdale's doing, all that fun stuff. McDavid, he needed a new skate blade. I thought it was fun to see McDavid go over the bench, and the trainer goes over and he swaps out his skate blade and does.
Did he say, dig in? It's morning practice.
He does the thing that all trainers do, which is the most incredible thing that you could ever watch a hockey professional do, is where he uses his bare hand to punch the skate blade in.
Oh, that's great.
And for some miracle, their hands are made of steel and they never get cut on that. And he jams his hand, he puts McDavid's skate blade in. McDavid goes back on the ice and he gets his new blade and he tests it out and he looks fantastic. And he's clearly the fastest player out there. It's so cool to watch McDavid do anything. And then I'm standing there and a man's coming down the steps behind me, and it's Brad Treliving. Brad Treliving looks over to me, and then I look over at Brad. I'm like, oh, that's Brad. And then Brad walks over to me, and he says, hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Brad. And I was like, yeah, like I don't know your name is Brad. And I go, I'm Jesse. And he goes, good to see you. And she shakes my hand, and then he walks around back into the locker room, down the stairs, and he keeps going about his business. But that was it.
Did he say he was a big fan?
He did not mention the podcast.
I want one of those Brad shirts. You didn't say any of that.
Next time, you got to get him a Brad shirt.
He did not
what
mention
size
the
are you, big
podcast.
guy?
He did not mention Boston pizza.
No.
No.
I'm sure he's pretty sick of the Boston pizza jokes. Between
I
now
know.
and Calgary.
I don't.
I didn't ask him about the Marner contract or anything, but he did the courtesy of introducing himself to me, which was something he didn't have to do, and that was very kind of him.
I have a question.
Yes, Adam?
Teacher
Yes.
Jesse, Mr.
Yes.
Jesse.
Yes.
Who was taller? Because I asked you this on text and you didn't answer.
Because I'm not sure. I think we're about the same height.
Because he's tall.
I think he's like 6'3" and a bit, 6'4" ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a tall guy.
Seems like a
we're
very
about the same height.
friendly, like warm person. too.
He's very friendly. Yes, that's I would definitely. He's like a good dad.
He's a good dad.
He's got
All
like
right.
a friendly dad. Like that's Jacob's dad.
Yeah.
You know, and you love Jacob's dad because he's always got
Comes
snacks
down,
out.
makes a couple jokes,
yeah,
grabs a beer from
he
the fridge,
always
goes
got
back up.
Doritos for you.
Yeah.
That's a hallmark of a good parent.
Yeah.
Snacks.
Yeah. He's got great dad energy. But he did the courtesy of introducing himself to me, and yeah, every little part of being down there, I think, is cool to share with the audience. As like we're not unfazed by the whole spectacular aura of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, like everything there is still a big deal to us.
Yes.
So it's cool.
I hope we never lose that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think when you lose that, you lose touch with your audience.
It's like when I think it was like your first or second time there. You're like, yeah, Hakanpää's taking rushes. And I'm like, what? Like we were told he's not going to play till like January. I didn't know that. And you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, no, the man was a little like, because there's a limit when you're on season opening LTIR. You have to spend a certain amount of days and games on that LTIR. But he was ready.
Yep.
He was ready 3 weeks in, but he had to do the 4 weeks. You know, and if you're down there at morning skate and you're seeing him play with the team, you're like, that guy could play. Like he's not any worse than Timmins.
I'm curious because like the Oilers have a ton of guys from Ontario and the GTA, and they're only here once a year. So, like, were there a lot of people sticking around at morning skate?
Yeah, so it's actually funny you should bring that up because that's exactly what happens. So there's sections that come to watch morning skate when it's game day. So the Edmonton Oilers have a giant section in the crowd you're not allowed a certain amount past the lower bowl. I forget like if it's green or red or whatever it is, but there's a halfway point where security will send you back up, and these kids kept trying to go down further and further down. The security goes, go back up to your parents kind of thing.
Okay.
They had a giant section of friends and family who came to watch morning skate.
Oh,
the Edmonton
cool.
Oilers did. Yeah, and it was bigger than I've seen for, like, Montreal was there that Saturday. Pittsburgh was there that Saturday. I think the Oilers had the biggest section for the morning skate there.
Almost their whole team is OHL guys.
Yeah.
Okay, who are the GTA guys off the top of my head? Hyman, McDavid, Nurse, Brown, Henrique. That's just Dermott was playing that game as well. It's ridiculous.
It's also bigger when it's Western Conference teams coming to Toronto because they only come the one time a year.
You get one shot at this.
Yeah. So Zach Hyman, we were talking to him in the dressing room about that, and he was like, yeah, I'm like paying to play today because I have so much friends and family coming and all my brothers.
Well, I was about to say, that's just family. He has 4 brothers and his dad,
and they all have their families, you know, and kids and wives and all that fun stuff. So it's a whole bunch of people. And yeah, every morning skate teams have their own contingent that they invite down to go watch it. It's a thing. There's a crowd.
There's more people that go to the game, the morning skate, than you think.
So the NHL car watch, I was going through the DMs and everything, and somebody sent me one, but the story expired with that's why I couldn't bring it up, and that's why I was trying to see if I can find it somewhere, the expired story, if it was on that player's Instagram or anything. But I'm gonna do some more digging afterwards and see if I can bring it back up. But right now it might be gone into the ether, which then you get 0 tires out of 5, right?
Yeah.
Because if you just did the NHL, bring that up, Steve.
Oh, sorry. Luckily, I'm blind and I couldn't see it. I'm very distracted.
Oh gosh. Okay, I know you're very distracted. But yeah, you get 0 tires out of 5 because your NHL car watch disappeared. But so instead, we're gonna do Steve's favorite thing, and that's why he couldn't keep his eyes off of it. We're gonna do chicken fingers.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this is from a Twitter user named Bill Crackman. He said, friend of mine had a VIP box for yesterday's UNLV game. That is the University of Las Vegas.
Oh, it was like, what team is unalive? What is... UNLV. Okay, sorry.
University of... what's the N? Northern Las Vegas? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what...
I don't know. UNLV, I'll look it up.
Don't put the camera on me. I don't freaking know.
They wrote, ordered a pizza...
University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Nevada, Las Vegas. Okay. Ordered a pizza and wings. Never realized what it was going to cost for this slop. $653. They treat the luxury suite guests like they're in a club with bottle service. There is the receipt of proof that they paid $653.
Outrageous.
Steve, as the connoisseur of chicken and pizza on this show, would you pay $600?
Well, that's 190 on the receipt.
First
American.
of all,
they look good though.
Those are golden retriever. Golden doodle puppies. Those are not chicken fingers. Let me see. Wait, that bucket
plus the
pizza $600?
Yeah.
What else is there? Like, what else do I get?
You get the pizza. See, one pizza box. The receipt says $300.
Manaja.
The $300 pizza. One crispy chicken tenders, $150. Subtotal $490. No, $190. I guess that would be. So one crispy chicken tenders, $190. One pizza, $300. Subtotal $490. Plus administrative charge, $112. Sales tax, $50. Total $650.
Is this where you go, oh, I wanted to leave a tip, but you wrote thank you over the line, so I can't?
Is that
crap?
This is the pizza.
It looks
It's
pretty
a little
good.
burnt. on the
It
top.
is.
I like burnt.
Part of it's pretty burnt, but no, that's
Hey man, do you guys remember that
That looks
time that
really
we
good,
gave
though.
away a box seat with us at the Marlies game?
have we ever told that story?
Well,
Are we
I think
allowed
it's
to?
long enough that we can. We used
Should
to
we?
do used to do Marlies game day skates, and if you bought tickets to that, it was like kind of what we do with the OHL now, except we didn't do a live show. We just hung out with people and watched the game, and you could skate on the ice beforehand. It was awesome. But they were like, "Hey guys, you did a great job for us this year a couple of times. You want to have a box and you can give it away, and your 7 listeners can join you." And we're like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." So we go, and these guys who showed up, I don't even know if they still listen, but they were just rip roaring drunk before.
Pretty sure they do.
Do they?
Weren't they from like?
They were a
Welland
fun
or something?
time. They were hilarious.
Yeah, they were
so
really.
funny.
They were a great time.
And what do you do when you start drinking? You don't stop. So they just were crushing beers and eating food and that sort of thing. So we get to the end of the game, and Steve and Jesse and I are about to leave. And you have to remember, this is before we started a company, before we had any major sponsorship deals outside of our lovely old friends at Panago. And they hand us the bill, and it's $700. And we were like, we didn't know. We thought the box with the food was included in the box.
You know.
It was not.
Well, and Adam didn't tell me this. You acted cool as a cucumber because I guess they gave it to you.
Yes, they did.
And we're walking out. We're like in the parking lot. You're like, I just had to pay $700 for all the food. And I went, what?
And I'll tell you,
I was not as cool.
I was making more money than Jesse and Steve at that point. So it made sense that I would just take it and go. And I think that's what we did.
No, I think you and I split it.
Did we split
I
it
wanna
eventually?
say, yeah.
Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, I was like, it was one of those, like, that was back in the era when we got a photo shoot, and the cost was $1,400, which for a photo shoot, believe it or not, is pretty cheap for group shots and all that stuff. For like a big, like, professional one, we still use those photos, and like it almost killed us. It almost killed us. So I was like that. So when they offered us the box the next year, we said no, thank you.
No, it was the same thing. I was like, wow, this is a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
That they gave us the box and they're just covering it.
In retrospect, I
nope.
feel like MLSE could have afforded it, but you know,
No, I
Maybe
think we
that-
learned a valuable lesson, and that is ask questions.
yes. Ask a lot of questions. Anyway,
Yeah.
This is
Frontenacs
the-
would never do that to us.
This is the menu at Alliance Stadium.
Oh gosh.
This is for the silver and black hospitality, the suite menu. So this is where he ordered the $300 pizza and the $190 chicken fingers from. And if we can we'll take a look at some of the other items. A farmer's market fruit display, $140. They claim it serves 10 people. A sushi sampler. Can you tell me how much the sushi sampler costs?
Okay. So if pizza is $300, then the sushi sampler's got to be in the $400s.
Oh,
right?
did it come from the ocean?
Yeah.
Put it
I'm
way
gonna
up.
say $450, Jesse, for round.
$450. Yes, it is on the screen right
Damn!
there. Sushi sampler.
Good job.
$450.
Wow. That is I bet it's not even that much.
If you guys take a look at some of the warm appetizers, buffalo chicken dip, $150. Southwest nacho bar, $170. The
Okay, well,
garden,
no nacho on earth is worth that.
Is this school on an island or
the
what?
garden salad is $130.
So basically, this is your way of funneling your corporate profits into something that will get you more clients. But like a dry aged ribeye steak is $500 American. Well, like, what are we to what? who is buying this unless you're a corporation trying not to get taxed? Like
The
that's what
turkey
this is.
BLT sandwich
Is $150?
is $150. All of their sandwiches are $150.
I got to understand the business case for this. We got to
A
bring this Jesse.
meatball sub is $1.80.
Okay, we got to bring this up with Alan on AP tomorrow because he always understands the business side of things.
Yeah,
And I want to
yeah.
be like, Alan, how does this work?
Because these sweets aren't cheap, right?
No.
The sweets are tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
If you're
Dry roasted peanuts are $30.
That's great. Snack mix, $30.
Snack attack, friggin' right. Snack a friggin' heart attack, $90. No,
What did you say, Matt?
wait, what is nostalgic candy for
An
$85?
assortment of your favorite candies.
Man, I think what we need to do is we need to get on this show and call their hospitality people
It's silver and black
and
hospitality.
say, hey, we're SDPN and we're looking to buy a box seat. And can you explain some of these prices to us before we go ahead with this?
Our interests include
Just do it live.
hockey, money laundering, and
money
chicken
laundering.
fingers.
That is money laundering.
Like-
that is. You can't tell me it's not. That is literally, we need a corporate write-off. Here it is. And we can bring our clients.
Okay,
Have a great
the
time.
drinks. A Coke, $30. Sprite, $30. All the drinks are the regular pop drinks.
Fanta Orange
are
is $30. It tastes
$30.
like
Powerade,
Fanta Orange.
$30. And a Monster Energy 4-pack, $40. That's $10 a
Yo,
can.
that's a deal. That's a deal. You
That's
can't
not
even-
bad.
Can't even hate.
For $30, you better give me so much Coca-Cola that my pancreas hurts. Like, what?
Like, did Jesus pee in it?
Oh my God.
Why is that $30?
A Coors Light is $50.
A Heineken is $60.
The wines now will end at, we're almost done.
What is the most
drinks.
expensive thing on this menu? We must find it.
It's going to be one of the meals.
I think
like
it
one
was-
of the giant steaks. or
It's probably either that or it's like a bottle of wine. But the steak was 500
Oh, yeah.
American.
Cancellations. Yeah. If you cancel, we burn down your house. Like, what it? Holy shit.
That's literally corporations going, hey, we're or I wonder, Jesse,
the main, yeah.
I wonder if they make the box seats themselves really cheap. And so they get you in the
No.
door and then they ding you on the.
There's no way.
I don't think anything's cheap.
No.
Yeah,
This is like, I assume this is like for a Raiders game to get a box. Like it's got to be 10,000.
all that money and Al Davis still has that haircut.
So all of these, like this is $1,100 for any of these items from the Smokehouse Barbecue.
That is bonk. It
You know,
serves
this-
10 people.
So even higher, the Silver and Black Steakhouse. If you order any of these, it's $1,500.
and it serves 10.
Yeah,
So you're $150 a person.
which actually is better than the $500.
Yeah, way better. Way better. I would go with that. That's
Yeah,
a deal.
yeah.
I think they're pushing you to that.
Yeah, the $500 like dried
Jeez.
aged tomahawk steak is the ridiculous part.
Man,
Anyways,
that's bonkers,
It
dude.
better come with an actual tomahawk made of platinum. Holy hell.
we got to do something with this. I think
we call them.
call them live
I
on the
think we
show.
call them on the show.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
I can just feed my phone into this.
We absolutely
can dial
have
it
to
up.
call them. I need to know. And one of us has got to take a point on it. We can't be three of us.
Are we doing this right now?
No.
Adam,
We cannot do this right now.
why not?
You want to do this right
Why
now?
not? Hold on. Let me if I can pull up actually their
Here, try
numbers
calling
are at the bottom here. I'm calling this number.
Okay, while Jesse's calling this number, can I promote some book stuff?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So November 22nd, obviously, I'm in Halifax. That's Chain Lake. Dartmouth, that one is 41 Micmac Boulevard. Barrie, some people were confused about where the Barrie one is. That is 33 Mapleview Drive. December 4th, First Canadian Place. December 7th, Ottawa, that is Indigo Pinecrest Shopping Center. December 8th, Kingston Frontenacs, we're doing that event, obviously. Book signing in St. Catharines, that is Fairview Mall, 285 Geneva. And December 15th, the one in Burlington, Indigo Burlington Center, 777 Guelph Line. Jesse, are we calling the rich people?
I have the contact information.
Oh my God.
Adam Wilde. Tomorrow on the show,
Okay.
you're going to be calling
I'm going to call.
Allegiant Stadium because you're the rich one, right?
Yes. I know how to speak this.
You know how to speak rich. So you're going to be calling Allegiant
okay.
Stadium premium seating. which is for the. Oh, he's twisting his mustache. Show it.
See?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That's more mobster than rich guy.
Yeah.
You're going to be calling Allegiant Stadium premium seating, which is the stadium sales for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
And you're going to ask for one of their suites, and you're going to inquire about how you can get your company there down to Las Vegas, because we're flying there for a work trip or something, right? Mm-hmm. We want to see the Raiders on some game. You're going to ask for a suite, and you're going to get some pricing.
Yep.
Is that cool?
I'm so flipping down for this.
All right.
Let's go as deep as we can go.
Let's go. So we're gonna call that number tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, yeah, on the radio show.
On the morning show. It's Dangle, Wild, and Blake on the WEI.
In the morning.
In the morning. Flush. Anyway, hey, we love you. We'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. Steve, we'll see you at the parking lot in Halifax this weekend.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Remember, don't forget me.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.